As we look around the world today, it often feels like the ground beneath our feet is shifting faster than we can catch our breath. Systems are breaking down, old ways of being are dissolving, and something new, though not yet fully formed, is emerging. Now, I would call this chaos. Maybe many people will call this chaos. Others call it change. Change is constant, it's inevitable. But what if, listeners, this turbulence is not random at all, but part of a greater unfolding, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, an age where humanity is being invited into the unity, higher consciousness, and radical self awareness. Now, listeners, welcome to this episode of the Cosmic Confluence podcast. I'm your host, Sana, as always, and today I am joined by someone who deeply understands this journey of transformation. Known as a confidence and career coach, an author, a speaker, and teacher, she has guided countless people through upheaval into empowerment, from self doubt into self confidence. And now she is helping people discover not only how to heal and grow individually, but also how to collectively step into a new way of being. And today, together, we'll be navigating or exploring what this revolutionary leap means for both individuals and humanity, and how we can better navigate these challenging times, yet extraordinary times. So, listeners, meet my incredible guest, Kate Heartsong. So, Kate, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really, really excited for our conversation.
Oh, thank you, Sana. I am so excited and thanks so much for having me. And it is and you eloquently, so beautifully described our what we will talk about. Oh, and I'm even having chills all over my body now. I truly believe as I believe you understand as well, such a need for so many people to understand what's going on. Many people do, but there are so many people on the planet who don't. And so I am here, and like you said, it is such a passion of mine to help people to understand this indeed is an evolutionary leap. It is not a random event, like you said so well. There is, we went through an agricultural shift hundreds of years ago. Humanity went through somewhat recently an industrial revolution. So, yet again, here we are in what is considered by many the most unprecedented, most extreme shift of all of mankind. It is known in different words. Metaphysicians call it the Age of Aquarius, or the
Mhm.
ascension process. Some scientists and futurists call it the Great Transition. And indeed, for probably most of your viewers here, we can feel the shift. There's something happening. And the reason we're going through this is because it is an evolutionary leap. And although it is very difficult to go through for so many, because we have challenges and there's so many systems, like you mentioned so well, many systems breaking down in the globally. For example, the banking system is so slow and it's centralized. Cryptocurrency is becoming more well known and accepted, and it's much faster and decentralized. And so, decentralization is one of the attributes of the Age of Aquarius. And also the whole concept of living more autonomous and living more with our intuition so that we don't necessarily always default to external authority. That's another characteristic of the age of Aquarius. And also, of course, love, peace, harmony, collaboration, recognizing that, yes, we are actually all interconnected. So the unity consciousness, but we are moving into this, but we are moving away from the old paradigm of thousands of years where there was male dominance and corruption and thinking war and aggression and greed and control are the answer. But we know definitely this is not the answer. It's not the way to live. Not to mention, it doesn't offer reverence for the dear Mother Earth. So we're moving into this new age, but in order to get there, the old paradigm has to come to the surface. And that's what we're right in the middle of. We're right smack in the middle of the old coming up to the surface for us to look at, to become aware, and then to heal it. So we're right in that middle stage, kind of like the birthing process.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, um, I mean, um, we often kind of, especially in today's day and age, we often don't find time to do these, discussions or an introspection around how rapidly people are changing, things are changing. I mean, we have seen a paradigm shift after COVID. On one hand, which is actually a positive side, is there are more and more discussions around holistic wellness, mental health.
Yes.
People are now, as you mentioned, that it's kind of a decentralization happening where we no longer feel hesitation to follow our intuition, not influenced by external factors
Yeah.
solely. And then, on the other hand, as well, people are now getting interconnected as well. I mean, the best example is, I'm sitting in a completely other side of the world, other end of the world, and I'm having this discussion with you, which is really, really amazing. I mean, if we would have a look at this 15, 20 years back, it was impossible,
Yeah.
you know. So,
True.
yeah, yeah, I mean, even if things are, kind of looking bad, but I very strongly believe, and this is something that I've realized through so many conversations, that um, people are still bullish, that it's a kind of a course correction that is happening, and the humanity is here to sustain itself and also sustain our Mother Earth. And if there's bad, there's always good to kind of, eliminate that bad or mitigate it. So
Yes.
that's a beautiful, beautiful perspective, Kate. I really love that because whenever this age of Aquarius will come, many people they would hear it as either a mystical jargon or some kind of astrological buzzword. But I really loved how you connected this to a big, kind of cosmic theme. Um, and talking about your own journey, Kate, you have shared your own journey of rising above childhood trauma and building confidence. And it's not a small feat. It definitely needed a lot of courage, vulnerability,
Mm.
grit, and resilience. So, do you believe that this age we are in is asking all of us to go through a similar process of confronting our past wounds and then kind of, transcending them?
Yes. Beautiful question and very, very applicable. Yes, it's so true that humanity as a whole and individually, we are all being asked to do our own individual work. Because we are all interconnected, please know the importance that one person really does matter, as each person does their own individual healing or dealing with things that upset us or childhood trauma or difficulties. As each one works on this, we are better able to then create a new earth. And in this, in this, because we are all interconnected, because we all add to the collective consciousness, one person times 500 million people or a billion people, believe me, yes, you as an individual are so important because of your energetic contribution to the collective. So, yes, I went through, like so many people, had to go through a dark night of the soul several times because of old childhood wounds. But this has given me the compassion and the passion to do the work I am doing today because I know it is totally possible to transcend from no self esteem and lots of shame into having great confidence. And this what gives me the passion to acknowledge and give people the encouragement and the knowingness for them it is possible too. If you knew me back then, you would say, "Oh, yes, I see what you mean." But you don't know how I was then, but I do, and so it's a journey for all of us, and this is part of the reason that we're on this earth plane, so that we can learn, go through and transcend our individual journeys into the greatness, although we are always great, but to recognize and live our brilliance and our greatness. And so now the whole planet or all of humanity is on the same journey. And it is so powerful that we can do this. And it is possible. Some say this already has happened. It's just that the 3D plane is the last to witness an experience on a material form. The completion of our success. I am very optimistic, although believe me, like many, I have had my challenges and I continue to have challenges. But the key is how do we deal with them? And what tools do we have? So I have many tools that I use for my clients. I had one client who was so full of negative self-talk when she and I first started. And she came to through our work coaching together, came to realize and use the phrase, "I am a treasure." And in fact, recently she told me she was able to manifest $2,000 because of her confidence. She manifested $2,000 in 1 week. So, of course, this is such a great testament to the ability of what we can do when we know our brilliance and live within it, do our personal work. And in that, we can create a healthy new age of Aquarius, a new earth.
Wow, that's such a beautiful, really, really encouraging success story that you have shared, Kate. And uh, I don't know whether this perspective is right or not, but it's kind of my personal observation, Kate, that and this is especially when it comes to midlife. Um, when I see my parents or people in the same similar age group, um, what I feel talking with them, conversing with them, that they are yet to kind of accept that the world has rapidly changed. The
Mm.
world has rapidly changed. It's really good to see that people who are in older age brackets, they are really great examples, really great success stories where they have actually kind of you know um, put themselves into this advancing world. They are kind of they're trying to be in sync, but still there are people who are yet to accept the fact that the world is changing. um we are no longer dictated or driven by what others will think or judge about us. um kind of what experiences they had when they were young. In fact, I also had when I was young. um what's your thought about this?
And what you said is very true. There are many people who don't want to accept the change, or perhaps they are in denial.
Mm.
Perhaps they just cannot deal with it, and that's where they're at, and that's okay. Oh, bless you. However, it but at the same time, it just depends on the person, how how adaptable, how resilient are the people. Most of us are very resilient. However, it is very easy by conditioning, and it's just human
Mm.
nature, to kinda get stuck in what we've been conditioned. And so, yes, change is hard for so many people. But when we can recognize, I would suggest something that can help us to deal with change if we're willing is, first of all, recognize our resistance to it or our denial, our upset, or whatever it is, whatever the emotion is. First of all, to recognize it and to honor it and acknowledge it. In our acknowledging the emotion or the resistance, this is good because then when we acknowledge it, we honor ourselves. Next, if the person is willing, be willing to be open to the possibility that maybe, as difficult as the change might be, it may be for good. And since we create through thinking and our words and our actions, if we can be willing to go with the change, go more and be fluid and be more adaptable, that can help us to acclimate a little easier. Doesn't mean we have to take a whole lot of change all at once because there's so much. But even if it's a little bit, whatever it may, perhaps the person might be willing to learn a little bit more about what's happening in the world or go into a group with people and see, well, how can I adapt to the change? First and foremost, however, is self-care and honoring yourself. So wherever you are, if you're not willing to go with the flow and going with the change, honor it. But if you're willing to try, the phrase that has been so helpful for me is, I am willing to learn to adapt. So if we say, I am adapting, our little ego mind might say, oh, sure, no, not really. But if we say, I am willing to adapt, your brain hears, oh, I am willing. And it helps to kind of crack open the heart into the willingness and the openness of it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Oh, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely.
And there are many other things that we can do if you would like me to share. Many other things we can do to deal with the rapid changes and the challenges in our life. Um, yeah, so one big thing also is to let go, release and let go of our upset, especially if it's something that's not in our control. And I know this is much easier said than done, but it is possible. And for peace of mind, it's so necessary to let go of our upset. And how we do this is similar to what I just described about resistance. To let go of an upset, we first start, of course, with the awareness of it, and then we acknowledge and give it a name and acknowledge it. But then do whatever we can to process through the upset. Maybe it's journaling or talking with a friend or gym exercise at the gym or being in nature. It depends on the severity of the upset. Maybe it takes a few hours, maybe it takes a few weeks. But once we can process through, that helps to release the intensity. It may come up again in the future, but maybe not so intense. Depending on the severity and the topic, it may be something that a person needs to do several times a week or several times over a few months. But it is possible. I know because I've been going through this very thing and I'm walking the talk. So letting go, one of the best things to do is to come up with a phrase that feels comforting and that is true. So let's say a person is dealing with a loved one who has a terminal illness.
Mhm.
And I can't take away the terminal illness. I can support the person, sure, but what can I do? Well, one thing is to say phrases that are true. It is what it is, and I am willing to accept it. Or all the worry in the world is not going to change it. I'm smiling because I laugh at myself because I've had my share of worry. And boy, it sure hasn't changed the condition of a loved one. But if we could say it with comforting words and just compassion to ourselves, it can help bring comfort. So I encourage coming up with some phrases that you can use and also a lot of good self care. And then one other quick tool that we can use to help us to recognize what's going on in the world and how do I better deal with things is to develop our intuition as best as we can. Because when we can, because our intuition is our true inner guidance, it will always take us to where we need to go. And if we can follow that guidance, then we can trust it. So, one thing we can do is create a trust journal where when we have followed our guidance, write it down in a log and just recognize that, yes, it gave me the right answer. Or if we didn't follow an intuition, what was the outcome? Maybe it didn't work out so well. So following our intuition is so good, and to learn to develop it, there's a lot online on how to develop intuition. A lot could be said, but I'll leave it at that.
Definitely. And I believe intuition is something that it's a gift given to us, to all the humans. It's not just a woman or men or any specific person. It's
Yeah.
been given to every one of us. And I think the beauty of it is it definitely needs a bit of slowing down, a bit of stillness,
Yeah.
not just because that, you have to just stop everything and concentrate on it. It's like a mindful way to look at it.
Yeah.
And I think, sometimes journaling, and especially you mentioned about trust journaling. That is really something that I was not aware about. So that is something really, really interesting. Journaling is such a healthy, beautiful way to uh, begin on this path, like, because you are kind of um you know putting your thoughts into, and I would never ever, if somebody would ask me that, would you use your phone or your laptop to do journaling, I would say never. For me, it's old school. It's my diary or my journal and
Too.
pen.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
old, that I would definitely go with that. Because I love the sanctity of that, writing your thoughts down.
Me too. I think there's a lot of power in writing, the actual process of writing. If a person feels more comfortable doing this on the computer, great. For me, I'm like you. It's just so nice. It just helps me. It's just something that I connect with when I write. And yeah, when we can have that trust journal, if there's a time of fear or worry, let's go back to reading the entries in the trust journal to recognize the how we are in fact supported and how our intuition is guiding us in the right way.
True. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Kate, before we wrap up, I think obviously we have to address this. Now, you often say that together we can create a new earth, one which is built on kindness, collaboration, and unity. You mentioned it in the beginning. So, what does that look like to you? And what role can each of us play in making it real?
Thank you. That's another great question. The most important thing truly is self care. This is not egotistical. It is not selfish to be with self care. And what I mean by self care is many things. It could be how you treat yourself. How are you talking to yourself during the day? Talk to yourself with kindness. Also, do nice things. Maybe take a hot bath or do that exercise. But also do work on yourself on any healing, any upsets. Perhaps there's a resentment. If you're willing and ready, work on the resentment, work on healing. The more we heal ourselves, the better we are able to then interact with kindness and cooperation and respect to others, because really it all starts within. Everything we see on the outside is actually a reflection on the inside of us. So as we are kind with ourselves, watch our language and just talk nice to ourselves. I talk a lot about that but that's another topic. But how can you talk nice to yourself? The biggest thing is awareness. Stop. If you're beating yourself up, recognize it and then let it go and replace it with a positive phrase. That's what my client did. She said when she caught herself with negative self-talk, she stopped and said, "I am a treasure." So it's so important to do our inner work. And as we have peace within, as we are healed, continuing with the layers of healing, then we are better able to see the good and offer the respect and the kindness that others deserve. You, each individual person, deserves the utmost. So know that for yourself, absolutely, that you are divine and so worthy and so great that you deserve to be good to yourself. And this radiates out to others. And as I mentioned, millions and millions of people, this adds to the collective consciousness. This can and is making a shift. So,
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think it's not only just possible, it's personal that each of us really, have a role in weaving it into being. So, Kate, if our listeners they would like to connect with you, and leverage all the wonderful resources that you're sharing, what would be the best way?
thank you. And I am honored. I would love to hear from your listeners. Best way to reach me is my website. It's joyfulradiance.com, joyfulradiance.com. And there you will receive a free gift. I'm also offering for the first 5 people who contact me, if they would like, I would be honored to give a complimentary discovery coach session. So that's only for the first 5 people who contact me, but you are welcome to reach me through my website. And you can also check my book out on Amazon that talks so much, Sana, of what we spoke today. My book called Humanity's Cry for Change, and it talks about the evolutionary leap, gives many exercises and also key concepts necessary for us to live by, for us to bring in the new earth. It really helps to navigate. So I thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from your listeners.
Absolutely, absolutely. I make sure to mention all the details and all the links for Kate's
Thank
free
you.
gift. So thank you so much, Kate, because you are really helping us see that transformation is not just happening around us, but it's happening through us. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for your presence and your wonderful podcast and what all you do, Sana. It's such an honor to be here and have this time with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate. And as we close, I'm reminded that evolution, whether it's personal or collective, it is really comfortable. It is messy, it's unpredictable, and it often requires us to release more than we would like. But within that chaos lies possibility. And the age of Aquarius isn't just about the stars or the constellation, it is about us choosing unity over separation, courage over fear, and consciousness over autopilot. With this, I conclude this episode of Cosmic Confluence. Until then, this is your host, Sana, signing off. Thank you.